How is your relationship with anger, with rage? Do you even have a relationship with anger and rage? Do you allow yourself to feel it fully? Or is it more like how it is, I believe, for most of us, that you're like, oh, it's uncomfortable. Maybe you even have a child and that a child throws a tantrum, oh my gosh, and even in the bus, you just think, oh, you want to shut it up, why is it doing it? And you feel ashamed of the child, you think, oh, what other people are thinking of me and my child. I believe you're not alone when you're feeling this, because most of us haven't really cultivated a relationship with anger, with rage. We haven't allowed ourselves to fully feel it. Yeah, we might be loud, voice it, but are we truly feeling the anger through our whole body, the rage through our whole body? It's something that has been in our society maybe labeled as bad, or something we don't do, especially like maybe like as a good girl or whatever, even as a good boy. I think especially also as men, like they're not really allowed to get angry anymore. It's like, oh, these men, they're aggressive, toxic. But anger, rage is something, it's such a powerful feeling when you feel it through your whole body. It's a feeling of creation. And it can change so much. And I really believe there's something we have to learn if we never learn it, how to truly feel anger and rage in our body. And so this is the whole video about. I want to show you a couple of practices, my favorite practices, in order to learn how to feel anger and rage, to like really cultivate it within you. And so something like now that I've built my relationship with anger and rage, I know which practices I turn to. It comes just naturally, like what I want to do. But before that, everything was so uncomfortable. Like I really had to enact it. Like I had to act that I was angry. And so I invite you to embrace each of these practices as something you're playing out in a theater for yourself. Like even if you're feeling, oh, this is so dumb, this is not me, I'm not angry, I'm not raging person, whatever. I truly, truly invite you, just stay with the practice and see what happens, because the more you cultivate this, the more your true emotions, feelings can come forth, and hence you will then have the tools to truly feel it. And believe me when I say that, it's uncomfortable if you never truly learn to feel in general, but especially rage, anger, and other uncomfortable feelings and emotions, because it's something just don't know. Like, oh, it's really something that has to be done. It's like, oh my gosh, but what am I doing? So you're not alone with this. And that, again, it's an invitation for you. Or if you're feeling like, oh, this comes up, or also, as I mentioned before, if you have a child and you see this pattern where your child throws a tantrum, which children do, it's so normal. Again, we can look at children, how they feel their emotions, and instead of like, oh, shh, can we give them also practices and tools that they can fully feel their anger and emotions, anger and rage, sorry. So the first practice is that you take a pillow to your liking, that's my favorite pillow, and you scream in it. Either you scream and make a sound. In general, I'm not going to make a sound in this video because, yeah, I don't want to, I think it's coming off very strong in the video. So rather for you to explore, but I really, really invite you to make a sound. But here you can also not make a sound. It's like if you would go underwater and you scream, there wouldn't come a sound. So you put the pillow like, scream into it. And you see how my body just naturally starts to shake. So something you might do as well. Or maybe that comes with time, or maybe not. It's like, and it's so liberating. But again, in the beginning, it's like, why am I doing this? I'm not an angry person. It's not something I'm feeling. That's all welcome. Then my second practice, I'm going to take a little bit of a bigger pillow. I also truly invite you to do that practice on a couch or on a mattress. Like that's what I do it, where I can really get into it. And then you can visualize this pillow is a person you're really angry at, or a situation, or maybe you don't visualize anything, but you really gotta punch it, and again, like scream, or if you don't scream, like make a facial expression, as if you would scream. And it's so liberating, like really, really hit it hard. Whew, this is like a little workout too. Then the third practice, which I think is very, very valuable, because what we're going to do, instead of hitting the pillow, we're going to go on our knees. We're going to take the pillow from behind and throw it to the floor like this, but obviously faster. And then you ensure that you move your hips, as most of our emotions, especially anger and fear, are stored in our hips. So we throw the pillow from behind, we make sure that we move our whole upper body. Because if the other practices before, we just moved it like here. And so the anger is still stored in our body, but we want to like move it. We want to move with it to get to the underlying feeling. Because usually anger and rage are protective emotions. So you want to take out what is underneath it. And again, so we move with like the whole body with the pillow. And I also want to encourage you to stay open here. Because again, when we feel something that is not comfortable, we tend to go like make ourselves small. And again, it can't flow. But we want to show like, no, I'm angry. I'm owning that. Like showing it really kind of to the sky, like see me in my anger. See me. So again, with the hips and from above with the pillow. And in general, with all these practices, so at the moment I'm living in an apartment, and hence there are other people around me, very close. And if I scream very loud, I know my neighbors can hear me. This in the beginning was a huge edge for me, because even though they can't see me, they can hear me. And oh my God, what would they think? Like the raging woman in apartment 2C or whatever. But this is an edge, like, can you allow your rage to be here? And I don't want to encourage you to scream at 2 a.m. in the morning. Please, like, respect the hours in your apartment to make noise, to be alive, whatever. But like when you then really scream in your apartment and you know that other people are hearing, know that you're not alone in feeling like, oh my gosh, this is so awkward, and I'm feeling maybe even like, oh my gosh, I'm dying. Because so much has been suppressed within us, and this feeling of like, oh, I'm dying when I'm making sound, like different things than other people. Like it's again like we may be getting exiled from our tribe or whatever. So like this feeling of like, oh my gosh, I can't do this, like really I'm like dying. It's really, really normal. And I encourage you, the more you build your relationship with anger, to start screaming loud, and maybe then also not use the pillow in front of your face anymore, but to scream like really own it. And then the last practice is, as I said before, the tantrum throwing child, and you're gonna enact that child. Get on the floor and just really, really stamp it all out again, that you can move the whole body, like however you need to do it. And I think whatever feels best for you to start, do that, but play with these practices so you have a toolbox of how to build a relationship with anger, to see what is underneath the anger. So tell me, how is your relationship with anger? And what is your edge with these kind of practices to allow yourself to feel anger in your whole body and to voice it?